Several of the questions we got at the last webinar seem to do with interpersonal conflict. We often talk about task conflict and interpersonal conflict. Task conflict is the type of conflict that is associated with problem solving and can be very constructive in the organization if it's done well. But interpersonal conflict oftentimes is not very constructive and can, in fact, turn very destructive. It's when two or more people end up having different values or beliefs. It often results in attributional error. We've seen that before where I have an opinion, you have an opinion, and all of a sudden we are attributing those differences to the other person stupid. How could they possibly think that? And it becomes more personality flaws than it is about the actual issue to do with the task. Oftentimes people tend to avoid that. I like the work of Amy Edmondson and Diana Smith, where they talk about and did research on what they call too hot to handle personality conflict. And in their article, they talk about the importance of being able to address these because oftentimes interpersonal will be closely connected to task conflict. So in interpersonal conflict, when it gets to that point, I call it actually sometimes Heifetz and Linsky talk about on the floor and in the balcony is being in the midst of it on the floor and not noticing maybe how we've gotten into this place. And then stepping up on the balcony, kind of looking at what's going on here. What kind of attributions am I making? And for some self-awareness to kick in around reflection and about maybe looking at how we might have framed something that's gotten in this situation and how we might reframe. The other is then try to maybe get back on the road to task conflict, which would allow us to be more open-minded, to better understand the other person's interest, being good active listeners, and knowing that oftentimes those multiple perspectives will actually help us solve that problem better. So again, I think I agree. Let's not totally disregard this. Sometimes it is too hot and we need to step back a little bit, but then do some self-reflection and then re-engage. And we might be able to get through this in a better way.